Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Taurus energy. And we start out with the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Fool in reverse, and the Seven of Wands in reverse. And the reason is because you have a dream. So if there was some people, you're harnessing these energies in a high vibe way, high vibe Gemini, high vibe Aries, high vibe Leo. And you could have been dealing with some people that harness these energies in a shadowy Gemini, shadowy Aries, shadowy Leo. They don't have to be those zodiac signs, but they could be people that are kind of deceptive and manipulative, who get caught up more in their head than listening to their heart and intuition to guide them. Maybe aren't very bold and brave and confident in their life. Might have some growing up to do. They take foolish risks in relationships. They could be more about themselves than other people. It's all about their wants and their needs and their lust and their greed and their pride and their ego. And they could be people who are very defensive. And again, could be people who are kind of like to being manipulative and deceptive in relationships. Why would people be that way? It maybe makes them feel safe. And again, if they think they're really smart, they might think that they can outwit people when they're in relationships without really having to be bold and brave and confident and authentic and loving, and just think, I can manipulate people to do what I want because they're defensive. They don't want to choose to move forward in the energy of love and being more trustful of other people. They get caught up in their fear and their insecurity and their self-limiting beliefs, or again, caught up in their ego, and it's more about them, and everybody's supposed to make the relationship more about them and their wants or their fear or their ego, whatever it is. And you're not driven and motivated by those same things. You're not on the same page. You have different ideas of how you view relationships, how you view yourself, how you view the world around you. And if you previously, we can all get attracted to different people in the world, because I think we get attracted to them because there's lessons for us to learn from them, and it will make us work through our own mental conflict we have about believing in our dreams. Because if we kind of don't believe in our dreams and we have some mental conflict about taking a leap of faith and having good boundaries within ourselves, well, guess what? We're going to get in relationships with people who might want to play on the fact that we have those lessons to learn, and then they can kind of be where it's more about them and be kind of maybe bossy or controlling. And the whole reason we get attracted to being in a relationship with people like that, I think, is for us to learn that I do need to stand up for myself. I do need to work through my own inner conflict that I have about believing in myself and believing in my dreams. Because our more worldly, shadowy nature can be being more codependent on other people. And we have to learn to love and believe in ourselves and be bold and brave and confident within ourselves, to stand up for ourselves and be willing to take more risks and step out of our comfort zone and be more bold and brave and confident in our own life. And I think you have been in a situation or a life experience that has helped you. You did that work within yourself to be more bold and brave and confident within yourself. And the people that you could have worked with or been in a friend group with or been in a relationship with, they didn't do that work. And so eventually, it became clear that these are not the type of people that your dream can come into reality with, because you have different ways of viewing relationship, what you're motivated and inspired by. You have different ways of viewing the world. You have different ways of how you invest your time, energy, and effort within yourself and with others and in the world. You're basically just not on the same page, and you have a dream, and you're getting out of your head about it. You're also maybe getting out of feeling betrayed, because you can get in relationships with people and you can feel like you don't have the same dream and vision as I have, and they could feel the same way about you, that you don't have the same dream and vision that they have. When we get in relationships with people who are on the same page and we view life, we have the same basic principles of and ideas of what it means to be in a relationship, and they could feel just as easily betrayed by you because you don't view life the way they view it. But the way they could view it is that people are supposed to live more from their mind. People are supposed to maybe make their dreams more about being defensive, and instead of being bold and brave and confident and growing and maturing yourself, you're supposed to look like a shining star in the world, and that's supposed to be your focus. And if you got in relationships with people who are like that, or they're supposed to be the center of attention and everybody else is supposed to put aside their pride and ego but not them, you just realize my driving focus in life isn't just to look like a shining star in the world. My life isn't all about money and materialism. I'm not defensive to letting go of my more worldly, prideful, egotistical, materialistic, immature, indulgent nature. I am willing to face my fears, to get out of my ego and make my life more about listening to my intuition to guide me instead of like my fear or my materialistic nature or my self-centered nature or whatever. And when you aren't on the same page as other people, they can feel betrayed by you and you can feel betrayed by them, because we tend to view other people in the world as being like us, but the thing to learn is that we're not. you know People have different dreams. Some people want to look like a shining star in the world. That's the most important thing to them. Love is optional. Other people want love. They hope that they see him successful and victorious, but that it's love is a driving factor. And if you knew someone who's very defensive to being more bold and brave and creative because they're more motivated by the world or their fear or their more immature, self-centered, emotionally defensive nature, well, so be it. You know, you're able to let people be who they are and not keep defending people like that in your life. You at one time might have defended that job or that friendship or that relationship because you did used to think that was people that you could have your dream come into reality with, but you're realizing you can't because you see life maybe from a more bigger picture, and you're someone who does have hope and faith and belief in your dreams, and other people could have given up on believing in their dreams and believing in themselves, maybe lack hope and faith and belief in themselves or in love or in others, and they've just decided to maybe live more from their mind than their heart and live their life more about themselves in a way, in a selfish kind of way. It's more about me. I'm not going to do love anymore. I'm not going to be hurt anymore. I don't trust people anymore. I'm going to make it about me getting what I want, and maybe in a way not really caring if other people get what they want as long as they get what they want. So that would be very selfish and self-centered. So you're not going to keep indulging people like that. You're letting people who you know that are like that go from your life. And I think you're taking some bold, brave, confident action based on what you want to have come true in your life. And why are you able to do that? It has something to do with these cards here that aren't showing themselves, but it's because you've completed a cycle. There's a maximum of 10 in every suit, and if we keep working through and taking some bold, brave, creative action to not give up on working through our own fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs, and we actually take down each one of those swords that have us in our head, like, where'd you come from? Who put you in my head? Did I put you in my head? When did I put you in my head? When I was 8? Yeah, I've grown up since then. Oh, was that some mean person in my life? I'm not going to let some mean person take up space in my head. In the energy of love, I'm going to let you go. You have worked through something that could have restricted you, oppressed you, confined you, limited you, imprisoned you. And you did that by taking bold, brave, confident action to quit operating more from your mind than your heart, to quit taking, like, you know, if we have a lot of stress, anxiety, and fears and insecurities, we can want to take impulsive action in order to make ourselves feel better. I just want to feel better. But you've maybe lived enough life where you realize that doesn't work out the way you want it, think it would. And so you're not taking foolish, impulsive action. And you're also not getting in your ego about it, you know? We all have issues to deal with, right? And we need to work through them, and we need to be inspired to complete the cycle so we can let it go once and for all and not get in our competitive energy, our egotistical energy, our emotionally defensive nature. We need to work through the cycle. And what is coming up next that you might dream of? Well, for one, I think people who have these energies in a shadowy way, or those negative ways of being that you could get caught up in before, you're going to let them go. And you're going to start harnessing these two energies in a high vibe way. The Nine of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. You're going to quit being up in your head about ending something. You know, we can end jobs and relationships and friendships with people, and we can move forward in our life. The Two of Pentacles can talk about picking up your investment in something that you had once invested in and moving forward in your life, maintaining your balance until you find the next thing in your life that you want to invest in. You could have been kind of stressed about ending things and detaching and moving forward in your life, and you're done with that. Because if some of the people you had been working with are people who are really stressed about ending things and moving forward, even though you might like to move forward, you know, they've made their free will choice. And if some of those people are unwilling to work through their own issues about why they have a problem detaching, you know, it kind of keeps everybody stuck in limbo. If they could be people who are trying to control other people. You know, I don't want you to believe in yourself. I don't want you to believe in your dreams. I don't want you to take a risk. I don't want you to stand up for yourself. I know I'm going to refuse to see things from a higher perspective. I'm not going to like communicate with you. I'm no longer going to defend you. And then they could hope that you feel backstabbed and betrayed, and that instead of really giving a lot of thought to what is loving and what isn't loving, that you'll just stay focused on the fact that somebody ended something with you, maybe painfully, and that instead of finding your balance, that you'll just stay in a mental prison. You know, some people who are in shadowy energy, that's what they hope. I don't want you to be focused on what is love and what isn't loving. I don't want you to be balanced. I want you to feel backstabbed and betrayed and not stay focused on love and moving forward. I want you to let those things go. I don't like that you are focused on love and loving yourself and believing in yourself and maintaining your balance. I want to backstab and betray you so that you will quit seeing believing in your dreams. So you'll quit being bold and brave and confident. So you won't stand up and defend yourself so that I can indulge in a relationship with you because I did some things that were unloving and unkind. And now you feel backstabbed and betrayed. And now you don't love and believe in yourself. And you don't know if your dreams are going to come into reality. And maybe you'll settle for being in a relationship with me when I'm kind of bossy and controlling and it has to be my way or the highway. And I don't want to do love. I don't want to put an end to my old ways of being. I don't want to think about being loving and balanced. I don't want to be in relationships that are just and fair. I want it to be about me. And you're supposed to indulge me in this workplace or in this relationship. And they'll purposely do things to make you feel backstabbed. So it will throw you out of balance. So you will quit focusing on love. You know, you'll get all caught up in your mind, all about them, someone who didn't choose to be just and fair and open and honest and loving and authentic, who instead of choosing all those ways of being, because we have free will, we have a dualistic nature, we can choose those ways of being. Or some people say, I don't know if I want to do it that way, or I'd get hurt that way, or I'd have to quit. I'd have to do work within myself to free myself from my own shadowy ways of being. I don't want to do that. I know I have a better idea. In my pride and ego, I'm going to take a risk to be unloving, unkind, selfish, greedy, bossy, controlling, manipulative, and maybe then, instead of them moving forward in their life in the energy of love, maybe I can get them in the same energy as me, and we can be in a relationship again. Because every relationship has to be balanced. You either have to be on the same page, you both have to have given up on your dreams, you both have to not be bold and brave and confident, you both have to not have good boundaries within yourself, you both have to be more inspired by your fear, your insecurity, your pride, your ego, your addictions, or whatever, and then you're on the same page. And if you start to love and believe in yourself, in order to keep staying in a relationship, you have to indulge them being the way they are and not getting, without them being on the same page as you are, doing equal give and take with you. If it's going to be out of balance, it can certainly be out of balance. It's equally out of balance. Oh, but I love them. I love them. I love them. Oh, I know there's kind of bossy or selfish or greedy or manipulative or self-centered, but I love them. I'm going to keep indulging them in the relationship. Well, I think some of you could be in it and you're giving up on your balance and you're kind of backstabbing your dreams because you're being manipulated by your own fear, your own insecurities, and other people who are playing on that fear and insecurity. Some of you have already done that before and you're like, I'm not doing that again. I have been there and I have done that. This is over. If I'm in relationships with people who have a lot of fear and insecurity about love and getting hurt, so they kind of act in these shadowy ways and they kind of juggle and they don't really invest in people. They try to create the illusion that, oh no, I've healed, I'm not selfish and greedy and prideful and defensive, but they are. And then they also can, they just never commit to a path. Like, I'm going to do love. I kind of want to play both sides. I want to appear one way to the world, but behind the scenes, I want to be a different way. And you're like, no, I'm done. And why are you, the people who are able to put an end to it, why are you able to do that? Because you harness those energies in a high vibe way. I have given a lot of thought to what is loving and what isn't loving. And people who backstab and betray me and hurt me, that's not love. They had the free will choice to be loving, and they made the free will choice to not be loving. And it's either because they're have a lot of life lessons to learn, and they, in the Fool card, it talks about going, we'll keep repeating the same old patterns until we realize it doesn't work for us anymore, or we need to grow up and mature ourselves. And you might realize somebody has a lot of growing up to do, or they're really immature, or they're really self-centered, or egotistical, or just a downright hurtful, unkind person, and it makes them feel powerful to be that way. People who love and believe in themselves don't derive a sense of power off of trying to feel like they have power and influence over other people. And the people who lack a sense of empowerment within themselves, probably because they haven't learned to love and believe in themselves and work through their own fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs, are still searching for a sense of feeling powerful in the world without having to do the work to work through their own shit. So then the way to feel powerful is to make other people not love and believe in themselves, for them to be in the same boat as they are, kind of like misery loves company, right? And you've given a lot of thought to what is loving, what isn't loving, and what it means to be in a balanced relationship with people who can maintain their balance. We can all be in relationships and kind of get triggered in our, well, I want it my way, or we can get triggered in like, oh, my fears come up, Well, what do we do when we feel that way? Do we sabotage what we're in and we go back and want to go indulge in our whatever things we want to go indulge in. It's all about me. I have to protect myself. Why are we so afraid? There could be some people that have worked through a lot of things, but there's some particular final truth that they don't want to see, and the truth sets us free. Again, there could be people in the world who don't really want to really authentically invest in other people. I want to be in relationships. I want to make it look like, I'm just and fair and balanced and loving and loyal and committed, but I really don't want to really invest in making my life about love and having hope and faith in love. Why? Because some people could be really afraid of being backstabbed and betrayed. They could be really afraid of being juggled. We've all been betrayed before. We've probably all been juggled before. High vibe people overcome that and say, I'm not going to let someone in my past who betrayed me or juggled me stop me from having my dreams come into reality. And sadly, some people who were juggled and betrayed did give up on their dreams. And now they've decided to live more from their mind and their heart. They don't stay focused on love and maintaining balance within themselves. And it tends to get worse and worse over time. When we listen to our shadow nature, whichever dog we feed within ourselves gets bigger. And if we're not staying really focused on love and maintaining our balance and keeping things in perspective and having hope and faith and belief in our dreams, we're feeding our fear and our insecurity, and that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you might know some people that just aren't willing to, maybe it's to put an end to their more worldly nature, because, if you're going to do love, you have to, and I think as we grow up in our life, it is to get away more from our more worldly nature and get to where we listen more to our intuition and respect ourselves enough to know that, I went through some life experiences and I'm going to trust myself and believe in myself and trust my own gut and my intuition to guide me. And, the reason why some people don't want to trust themselves and listen to their intuition is because when they did that before, it didn't work out well. But again, that's kind of not seeing life from the higher perspective. We got attracted to getting into relationship with certain people because there was a lesson to be learned there. Are we willing to learn the lesson and detach from that and let it go and take the lesson that we learned to add that to our foundation so that over time we become more stable, more grounded, more secure within ourselves? Or is it just that, oh no, somebody was unloving, someone was unkind, someone was bossy, someone was controlling, and not to diminish some of the horrific things some people can go through in their life, but are we going to let basically like negative energy run our life? Because negative energy is kind of like the battle within us between our shadowy, egotistical, fearful nature and our loving, hopeful, believing nature. And then the world is kind of like a world of duality. And we have all these different people in the world. There's people in the world that are on the same page as you. There's other people who are open and honest and loving and warm and giving of themselves, who aren't all fearful and afraid of love and fearful of being backstabbed and betrayed. It's just not what they choose to focus on. But some people made that free will choice at some point in their life that, I'm not willing to, I'm all up in my head and fearful and afraid of love. I could get hurt. Maybe I don't believe in love. Worldly Taurus energy is more like my underlying philosophy of life that my brain has wrapped its way around is that life is supposed to be not about seeing life from a higher perspective, not being bold and brave and confident, not listening to my intuition and getting out of my worldly egoic nature, to put an end to that and move forward in life, willing to grow and mature myself to my full potential, to listen to my intuition. Some people never planned on doing that in their entire life. Their whole life and philosophy of life was that we keep going forward and we make our life about the world. my wants, my needs, my lust, my greed, or looking like a boss in the world. It's all about the money and the status and the image. But some people who can even be like addicted and consumed by that. And you can get in a relationship with people like that, and they want you to be consumed by those same things. They don't want you. If you're a loving, giving, nurturing person, it's kind of like they want you on their team, but they're not that way. They're maybe a little more reserved, or which I'm very reserved, so nothing about being reserved, but I can be a very loving, giving person to people, but I don't be that way with just anybody, you know? And but they could be someone who in a way doesn't really open up, never really freely gives of themselves, but they want someone like you on their team because you're very loving and giving. You like give them the things that they want, but they don't give it in return, and that's what a just and fair relationship is. And they could be someone who thinks, oh, well, I just present myself as being someone who harnesses high vibe Taurus energy, that I'm balanced, that I'm just, that I'm fair, that I'm loyal and committed, and I'm not prideful and egotistical and all those things, in order to get loving, nurturing, supportive people in relationship with me. But I really am not those things. That's not the truth of who I am. I juggle. I present myself as one way to the world, but I really have a lot of fear and insecurity about love. I really have a fear of believing in love or trusting people in love. I'm actually operating from my egoic, emotionally defensive nature, or I am very materialistic and self centered. But I don't want people to know that because otherwise people wouldn't get in a relationship with me. Well, for some of you, you saw the truth. That you were in relationships with people who do not see life from a higher perspective. They could be all about the world and the ego and the image and maybe themselves. And they wanted you to be stressed and anxious and not believe in your dreams because they're not willing to do the same work you're willing to do within yourself to make your life about a higher truth and a higher justice, because the divine wants you to get your divine inheritance, to be all you can be, to grow yourself to your full potential. Shadowy people could be people who are more like, well, I don't do any of those things. You know, life's about conforming to the world, and it's about having this certain status and image in the world, and people looking up to you and admiring you, and that should be enough. It's like, well, that could be enough for you. If you're happy because you got a certain amount of money, you got a certain job, you got a certain position of power, you look a certain way, blah, 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 well, then be happy. That is not my idea of my dream life. I want, the divine life giving energy wants you to be free. Your shadowy nature, represented by the devil, wants you to be limited and restrained and confined and limited and imprisoned and restricted, to make you feel like you can't really manifest your dreams into reality, that there is no higher truth and justice to aspire to, that you should settle for what the world says is good enough. And some of you are like, it isn't good enough. This job isn't good enough. If you're being deceptive and manipulative and not who you say you are, and you're bossy and controlling, then yeah, this isn't the job I want, and this isn't the relationship I want. Eight of Pentacles, High Priestess, because of the Seven of Pentacles. You harness a different Taurus energy than they do. You invest and are motivated and inspired in the Two of Wands, which could be something they lack. You're motivated and inspired to gain insight and wisdom about the things that hold you back. Why am I not more bold and brave and confident? Why don't I stand up for myself? Why don't I, just all these things. You're someone who wants to free your foundation from the things that restrict and confine you. And some people think that's a normal part of life, that, well, that's just the way it is. And nobody ever deals with their issues, and everybody operates from ego, and everybody's a dog eat dog person. And it's all about keeping up with the Joneses. Like, it is if you think it is. If that's how you envision life, and if that's how you envision the world, then that's your true reality. And you can keep investing in that if you want. But I have a different view of life, and I have a different view of relationships than you do, and a different foundational premise from which I make decisions in my life. And mine is based on love and hope and faith and belief. And I put in work and effort into my own foundation to gain insight and clarity about the things about myself I haven't wanted to look at. You know, in order to shed some layers of our fearful, insecure, prideful, bossy, controlling, self pity, jealous, envious ways of being, we've got to put some work and effort to gain insight and wisdom about why do I even feel those things. And we listen to our intuition to guide us as we move forward in our life, not letting our fear and our insecurity and our pride and ego dictate the decisions we make in our life. Some people are motivated and inspired. You know, the Eight of Pentacles is Virgo energy. Some people are motivated and inspired to uncover the truth about themselves so that they're not burdened by the past. So they're not continually repeating these same old patterns of relationships and jobs and ways of living their life. They want to move and get out of that and quit being in relationships and jobs like that, or thinking like that, or feeling like that. They want to free themselves of it. And some people aren't motivated because it does require that you invest time, energy, and effort into your own foundation about why you do what you do. It's kind of the difference between living your life consciously. Why am I doing this? Why am I acting like this? Why am I drawn to certain people like this? Why do I stay in relationships with people who seem to lack any insight? People who might be very defensive or egotistical or whatever. Why, it's to try to find out why so we don't do it again. And then other people are happily living their life unconsciously. They don't even want to know why they do what they do because they might do what they want to do. Maybe they lack impulse control, Because the Two of Wands is Aries energy and fiery energy. You don't have to be dealing with an Aries sun sign. Anybody, high vibe Aries energy is people who do want to grow and mature themselves to make good decisions in their own life. And when they're working together with others to make good decisions, if it's going to affect other people. And there's other people in the world who don't want to do that. I want to make decisions that are best for me. I could move forward in relationships, but those people want me to be more balanced. Those people want me to put in work and effort within my own foundation to maybe start listening more to my intuition because I might take some impulsive, reckless, fearful, insecure action that ends up sabotaging relationships because I never gain insight and wisdom to temper my more fearful, insecure, prideful, egotistical, whatever nature. And they end up sabotaging relationships with people that they could have moved forward with who were focused on love, who were willing to invest in them, but because they maybe get all caught up in their head and in their fears and in their insecurities and so afraid other people are going to backstab them and so afraid that other people are going to juggle them. It's like focusing on all the negative things that could happen that detach people from investing and listening to their intuition. Why are we so up in our pride and ego about the fact that if somebody were to be deceptive and manipulative, we'd be like, it's hurtful, but it's like, hey, I'm glad I saw it now than another 10 years down the road. I want to see the truth. You know, you know what? And the people who are probably most worried about other people backstabbing and betraying them are the people who really know that they're kind of in a relationship, not really investing. They know that they're really kind of in it, maybe more for pride and ego and image reasons or indulgence reasons. And if they know that that's how they view the world, they could think again, because I do think that we tend to view other people in the world as being like ourselves, that then they think the people they're in relationship with are like them. But we can get in relationships with people who aren't like us at all. But people who are fearful and insecure, and also people who are more materialistically driven, they keep thinking too that, well, if they see someone else who's got, this would be someone who lacks some self esteem. Some people can get really afraid. Well, what if they find someone, who has more money or more whatever? Do you really think your person is a superficial person? Do you really think that's what they're driven and motivated by? For some people that are in shadowy energy, they were in relationships with people who aren't like that at all. But Why do they think other people would be tempted by that? Probably because they know they would be tempted by that. Why are they so afraid that other people would maybe um, end a relationship with them if somebody else wanted to invest in them? Probably because they know they would maybe do that. Because in their Aries energy that they harness, it is kind of more about them and their wants and their needs and their lusts and their greed. And so, you know, we can get all caught up in our fears and so afraid that other people are going to do these things to us, and those people were never going to do that. If those people would have put an end to being up in their head, and if they would get grounded and stable within themselves and get out of their more making it more about them or their ego, and get out of that and start putting work and effort within themselves and listening to their intuition to guide them, they probably have much more successful relationships and work environments. But I think some of you realize something is over and you are picking up your investment in whatever it was. And you could be in a relationship so long as you and the people and that are moving forward with you are all doing this work with them. This could be a friend. One person could be leaving their job, you know. Um, but the people that you want to move forward with are the people who put in work and effort to invest in foundations within their own foundation to gain insight and wisdom, to learn and grow and mature themselves, who then are willing to work and put in work and effort with other people in workplaces, in foundations, listening to their intuition to guide them, not the people who have a lot of fear and insecurity about doing that. So, tell us about the people. What's coming next are the people who harness high vibe Taurus energy. They and the people they're moving forward with who also live their life like that. What is coming up? You might be getting a new job. You might be working with new people because the Eight of Pentacles is about putting in work and effort, and the Seven of Pentacles is Taurus energy, and Taurus can represent like all the things of the world, you know, relationships, marriages, businesses, organizations, government, you know, it's all the relationship structures and businesses like within the world. What did I ask? What's coming next for you or something, or that you don't see coming? That by aligning with your own loving nature, you're able to put an end to being up in your head. Because again, the Nine of Swords was in reverse, no longer going back and forth. Again, if you've been in a job or relationship where you thought a dream was going to come into reality, or a friendship group, you're done. The more you align with loving yourself and believing in yourself and work, you know, authentically being yourself in the world, the more you do that and align with your authentic loving nature, it helps you release the past and close out that cycle. And I think one relationship in your life, like one door closes and a new door opens, because that's kind of how the divine is, right? The divine, we're creators, you know, we're manifestors. If we keep staying up in a mental prison and not putting in work and effort and resisting our intuition, we're going to keep staying in a backstab type of energy. And we're in our fear and up in our head and just not showing people that. If we keep listening to our intuition, keep having hope and faith and love, we will be able, you know, eventually we're more focused in, this is the mind energy. This is actually putting in the work and effort to bring things into reality and taking the steps necessary. It gets us out of our mind and gets us really more focused on, what do I need to focus my time, energy, and effort and thoughts and emotions on every day to bring my dream into reality? And if my dream that I want to bring into reality is growing and maturing myself, aligning with love within myself, eventually our fearful, more insecure nature drops away because we're not investing time, energy, and effort into it anymore. And if we also quit investing time, energy, and effort into people, places, and things that where we feel like we're being backstabbed and we start putting work and effort, we'll be able to detach from those people too. Tell us about the people that are harnessing shadowy Taurus energy right now. Well, I think for one, they don't want, they want to keep living their life the way they view life and focusing on those things that they're motivated and inspired by. And it's not love, it's not maybe being just and fair in relationships. It's kind of more about them. And some of those people who thought they were going to backstab you see that you aren't backstabbed and that you love and believe in yourself and you're listening to your intuition and you're moving forward in life. So that plan didn't work. So they're probably thinking of who next they can go get in a relationship with or hire as a new employee that they think might be more aligned with their more worldly Taurus energy and Virgo energy and emotionally more invested in the world that they could get as a new employee or a relationship. Tell us what the people who harness shadowy kind of Taurus energy, what they don't see coming. Well, I think that the people who harness this energy and high vibe are leaving their life, and that the people that are coming to invest in them might be people who harness this energy in a shadowy way. Yeah. Aquarius star energy, the people who do believe in their dreams and have hope and faith and believe that they can heal and believe in love, those people are leaving their life. And they maybe didn't see that coming because they've never been able to get over the fact that maybe people backstabbed and betrayed them and they never got out of their pride and ego about it, and they keep operating out of pride and ego, and they never thought you would either, but you did. You did do the Virgo work. You went within to gain insight and understanding, and you took the lesson you learned from that life experience to realize this is not my dream. I'm going to invest in something new, and I'm going to move forward in my life, and I'm going to take the lesson I learned with me so I don't get in relationships with people like that again. And so then what they don't see coming is they're going to manifest what kind of maybe what they are internally because they rejected love. They've aligned with their more shadowy nature. They might have someone coming into their life who wants to be in a relationship with them, who's just like them, who also doesn't believe in their dreams and might harness shadowy Aquarius energy, and they're hiding that. I want to be in a relationship with you because it would make me look like I'm a shining star in the world, like we have the money and the status and the image and the whatever. I'm being practical, I'm being grounded. My long term goal is to look like I have all the things of the world. But I too, like you, don't see life from a higher perspective. I too am not very bold and brave and creative and inspired. I also live more from my mind than my heart. And I kind of sabotage myself because I don't believe I can manifest my dream into reality. But you seem to have money and status and power or image or whatever. And that's what I'm interested in too. So I'll get in a relationship with you. But I'm not going to be insightful or loving or maybe warm. I might be actually kind of cold and detached and egotistical and self centered. And they will have manifested exactly what they are. And the whole reason they do that is to realize, really, is this what you want for your life? You got exactly what you were manifesting. You wanted someone who is motivated and inspired by the world, by money, materialism, status, and image. You got it. Oh, do you feel backstabbed and betrayed now? Now are you not showing people that you're really stressed about love? And you're kind of really stressed about the people who did maintain more balance within themselves, who moved forward and away from you, having the relationship and jobs of their dreams because you were unwilling to get out of your ego or your self centeredness or your fear, well, you manifested what you wanted. You got somebody to offer you money for you to work with them, or power, or influence, or whatever. Are you going to be in a relationship with someone where there's maybe no love? It's just about you thought it was good enough to be in a relationship, indulging yourself maybe sexually. Well, it's one thing to indulge yourself in a relationship sexually with people who are loving and warm and giving. It's another thing to try to indulge yourself sexually with people who are very stubborn or prideful or immature or childish, defensive. Good luck. Hope that works out for you. So, anyway, that's where I think we're at, Taurus. I wish you peace, love, and joy. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.